Hello. Believe it or not, this is the 6th take, I think. It took me a while to set up the lighting how I wanted it, just to make it look natural, as if I'm just sitting here. I struggled with my words, as you can probably tell. I'm going to be looking at my computer screen for most of this, because I'm currently editing a video for me, not for my channel, which are two separate things, which is a fun concept. I went to Japan 2 years ago. I was on my way to Japan 2 years ago, if you add a day, because I left on the 18th of March 2019, and that was the last time I travelled abroad. A year ago I went to Cairns, to the north of Queensland, but the last time I actually left the state that I live in was the end of 2019. I really miss traveling, not just for the traveling part, because yes, it is beautiful to travel and it's so nice, but I miss it for the reset that it gives me, or the perspective that it gives me, which, yes, you do get perspective from traveling, and I've been lucky enough to travel quite a bit in my lifetime for my age. I would love to travel a lot more. And I have friends my age who have travelled more than me that I'm quite jealous of. But I'm jealous of anyone who has memories of travelling. So I'm jealous of myself. But yeah, point being, this is a nice way for me to escape by looking back at this footage, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of post now that it's been 2 years, or not. I don't really give a shit if I post it, but I thought it'd be nice to post for my friends if they want to see it. It's been very interesting to reframe this trip and look at it, because whilst I was on this trip, which is another reason why it's so important to me in a way, other than being, the last time I travelled, before gestures broadly happened, I got fired from like a dream job when I was in Japan on one of my first few days there, which is just, that was the thing that took me a while to get over, just because it was a dream job, not something you really want to lose, and I didn't know how to lose it, and I've moved on since, but that kind of affected me, and that holiday was me dealing with it, plus me trying to deal with it. I'm fine now, I guess. The point I guess I'm trying to make here is that it's been very interesting to kind of look more honestly at where I was, and to be able to kind of critique that through hindsight, and that's the beauty of capturing images. Like I've had the photos for a while, and I know the photos by the back of my hand, and the photos will be a part of the video, but there's something that's so raw about video and so raw about the outtakes, quite a few of which I'm not going to include because I just wasn't feeling good on certain days. And I voiced that to a camera, and I will keep that in my archives, in my personal archives, which I'm using to edit right now. And that's the other reason I'm editing this recently. I shuffled around my archives. It was about how much footage have I shot? I have about 7 terabytes of storage that I use. That's been my life for the past. I was doing some of this management a month ago, and that's when I started editing this video, and then I did more recently, because recently I bought myself a new hard drive, which is this little orange thing that you see here. It's a 4 terabyte lacy, rugged drive. I originally started talking because I've got to edit some pictures, or choose some, because I realized that some of the pictures I have not been exported from my Lightroom, and I've got to import them in. But before I got to that, I thought I'd just drag in my images to the right days, because I took photos every single day, but I think there were a few days where I did not take video, which makes things fun. I'm kind of going through day by day. That's the plan of this video. In other news, I've read quite a bit since we last spoke. I finished reading the Norse mythology book which was just Norse mythology, some tales of Norse mythology. And it was interesting, very curious. I think it's cool to know those stories. And then after that, I read a book about Buddhism, which is called The Buddha, Jeff and Me. And it's about a guy called Ed, the author, and his journey of learning about Buddhism, and in particular Nichiren Buddhism. I believe that's what it's called. My mum dabbles in some Buddhism. She has for the past few years now, and I've learnt bits and bobs off of her, and she suggested I read this book, and it was a great book. There's a few things I feel like I've learnt from it that I'm trying to take with me in life now, but I haven't fully digested it because I just finished reading it last night, and I feel like I've got to have a conversation with my mother about the book and just figure it out, really. After that book, I'm going to be reading this one, Brave New World, a classic. This book was written in 1930s? 1932. So it's a classic. It's in the vein of, not in the vein, but it's put up there on the same pedestal in 1984. I'm reading the introduction by some academic, as they have in some classic prints, and they're talking about what is utopia, what is dystopia, all of that, and it's interesting, but I don't like it when they give me a feel for the book that I'm about to read. I'm just like, just let me read the book. I know I could skip and just read the book, but that's not how books work. You're meant to read them in order. My sister suggested it to me, and I am curious, and that's it really. I'm curious. I won't have any fully formed thoughts until I've read it. I'm just dragging things in now. I've repositioned my body to look better for camera, but honestly, the reason these boxes are here is so I don't lean down too much with my neck, because I have terrible posture. But it turns out I'm still leaning down. I'm currently in the process of improving my posture. I started going to do Pilates. This afternoon I'm meant to make an order for an office chair that I quite like. Quite an expensive office chair. More details will be when they be. One other thing I wanted to touch on is that I have failed certain weekly upload scenarios. I've given myself the lenience to miss 4 Saturdays in a year, 4 uploads in a year, so I can have 48. That's my goal. That's my honest goal. It wasn't 52, it was 48, and I've missed 3 so far, and it's March. The first quarter, I've used up the second and third quarter excuses. I'm gonna get back on track. I am somewhat back on track. I'm waiting for some film that I shot to get scanned and sent to me, and hopefully that should happen today. The problem with shooting at the moment is that the weather sucks. It's just rain. It's just rain. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to edit. Cool, so those are all in place, minus the pictures that I took on film, minus the other pictures I took on film, minus the pictures that I took of my friend. I'm gonna go into Lightroom and do what I thought I was going to when I hit record. It's a good video for me to watch to check my posture. These pictures are shit. Good to know I've become a better editor since I was in Japan. It's so interesting to see how my sense of colour has changed. Highlights on the skins are just, ugh. This would be a fun video for you to watch, actually, how I edit. I should do this. I should do a whole video where I go through old pictures and take a look at what I did and see how I'd fix my own pictures. Yeah, I don't know why I did these edits back then. Wow, this is so interesting to explore. Just how my editing has changed. That's so interesting. I've changed a lot. I've really changed a lot in how I edit. That's incredible. I never realized. I'd love to zoom out of this image, really. This is how I come up with ideas for videos. It'll be fun to do. I think there'll be things to learn from it. It's just so interesting, like my black and white look has especially changed in these images. And I think that's a consequence of shooting film, where I've fallen for a more natural kind of look, like how light contrast. I don't know what I'm saying. I didn't expect that. Didn't expect that one bit. It looks like it stopped recording, and I'm not sure when, so that's where I'm going to end this video. This was just me sitting and editing, and I talked for a bit, and then I stopped talking just because I was getting back to work. I'm going to start listening to music again, like I usually do when I'm editing, and I'm going to try and have good posture, but that's really hard to do. But I gotta get better, I gotta be smarter. Thank you for watching this. I'm gonna try and do this more often. I want to talk about the books that I'm reading a bit more, just because they're fun. And I might do some more editing things, or I don't know. This channel doesn't really matter. All right, I will see you when I see you. Bye.